a fabulous fabric from the land of the Five Rivers.
He's gone! 10-5 touchdown! Raiders!
2 years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We back, man. We back at it again, man. Another post-game show and another Raider loss, apparently. Another Raider loss, another disaster. This one is worse than last week. Last week, obviously, we felt like, the Raiders could have won that game. This game, Raiders got dominated easily. Like, it wasn't even close. The final score was 40-6. Colts came out on top, the victory, whatever you want to call it. And there's a lot to unpack from this loss. A lot of things that we're seeing that it has been a pattern with this team. We'll get into it. Yeah. We appreciate everybody pulling up. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We are going live on both of our channels. So you want to make sure if your first time visiting, definitely subscribe to both. Obviously, if you already subscribed and you're also watching this, definitely hit that like button. Definitely hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live and drop new content and all that good stuff. Man, Mario Jr. in the building says, "What it do?
Hey,
what do we do now? What do we do now?" Well, that's a very good question.
You detailed it perfectly, man. 40-6 though, and it's like there's no commander excuse you can give us about, oh man, hey, we played in a short week and we weren't rested and I didn't. Nah, bro, you had a full week to prepare. You know what I mean? And this is how you come out and look. And again, offense looks anemic, and we're gonna get into it. But it's like all this is really, bro. I put all of this on coaching and the front office. You know what I mean? And the way that you build the team, the way that you structure the team, and the way that you're coaching the team. And I think right now the head coach's message does not look like it resonates throughout the team. And as a player we'll talk about, you already got players that look like, there's mutiny on the ship. You feel what I'm saying? There is mutiny on the ship. You already got players like Germaine Pratt missing in action. We're not getting good answers why. Players look frustrated. We're holding on to players that are not playing well. You know what I mean? And then that's the thing, bro. Look, bad coaches, this. I just saw a tweet right now and I fully agree. And this is 100% true. Bad coaches will win their way because it's their way. They will not adjust. And bad coaches always do that. And this is what he's doing right now. So, hey, this is where we're at, bro. 1-4, securing the top 5 pick the way it looks. You know what I mean? Mock draft season's already upon us. I don't know who's saying, oh, if we lose to the Titans, bro, already prepare your minds. We're going to be their first win. The way we playing, we're going to be their very first win, dog. And prepare it now. You should already have mock drafts ready, all right? Have the quarterbacks ready in your minds that you want, because this is where we're at.
Mm-hmm. Nah, definitely, man. And we're gonna so what we're gonna do, we're gonna try something new today. We're gonna get into the pressers. The pressers are not too long. Usually they're pretty short. So we're gonna react to like what Pete Carroll had to say. And I'm sure, some of y'all might have heard it, but we're gonna play it, and then we're gonna give you a full reaction once we hear what Pete has to say, and then maybe we might tap in with the some of the comments made by the players in the locker room too as well. Sometimes they talk to them after the game, so sometimes that can be real telling. Over the years we've heard players say something that might speak to the truth. Sometimes they'll say, sometimes they'll say politically correct answers and things like that, and but sometimes you'll hear players and coaches kind of say something that makes you think like, wait a minute, like that's what's really going on, and I think Pete might have said some things that were kind of interesting, and we'll get into that in just a second. Man, shout out to everybody pulling up. P&W, Mark in the building, man. Appreciate you pulling up, my guy. Say Too True says we the weakest Las Vegas Seahawks. Man, that's sad, man. That's sad. And the Seahawks is
that's a fact.
Man.
We didn't good Seahawks shit over here. You brought the bad Seahawks shit.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Zay Too True says it's even worse because we don't even have a Legion of Doom. That sounds worse than Legion of Boom right now. Like Legion of Doom seems like it's not good at all. It's not good at all. I mean, it sounds like a dope name though, but if you're winning and there's something behind it,
bro. We're ass. It's Doom, all right. It's the Legion of Doom for sure.
Yeah, and last week was funny on the 50-50 show, man. Check it out every Tuesdays with me and Zamir. It was the I told you so show. And what that meant was that all off season, we said, lower the expectations. Look at the team. If we're being honest, if you're not just being a homer, you got to be like, hey, does the defense have a whole lot of talent? No. Are there a lot more question marks on this team than answers? Yes. So it's best if we wait and see that unfold before you can start anointing if this team is good or not. But, 100%. It happens every year, every offseason. Raider Nation falls for it. And some of it, to put the other side to it is some of that comes from the coaching staff, which is led by Pete Carroll, talking about we're going to be winning. Come on, here in the presser. Oh, hey, Max, go get the guys, man. Let's get it going. We're going to hit the ground running. Hitting up Amari Cooper. And Amari Cooper even confirmed this in his presser, saying that, Pete was texting him all offseason. How many years I've won 9 games? How many years I've won 10 games? So this is the message that Pete Carroll has been sending to the team, to Raider Nation, and it squares at everything. It falls on Pete. It falls on Chip Kelly, the coaching staff. It falls on everybody that are the decision makers for the Raiders right now, because this is terrible right now. The way they got blown out.
Can I be honest? Yeah, and can I be honest with it? I don't know if you want to have this discussion now or later, but I saw somebody say in the thing, man, we're worse than last year. I want to know where all the people were that had such harsh criticism for AP. Where is all that? You feel what I'm saying? Like, I see us. We're all doom and gloom. I see that, but there was a lot of jokes. There was a lot of this. There was a lot of that for AP when he was losing. But see, this is the thing that I don't even know if you said it, Pharaoh, but I know I said it, so I'll take accountability. I said, look, at least he's a first-year head coach, at least, right? So you can say, all right, bro, this is the floor. So what's the excuse for him, for Pete? What's the excuse? What we gonna say? Oh, it's the first year of a first regime. Dog, he has a 3-year contract. It's not like this man has like a 5-6 year contract and we understand what this is, right? Yep. It's a rebuild. Okay, for sure. You know what I mean? I seen somebody try to equate this man to like, who was it? Fucking Shanahan. It's like, bro, he's like, oh, Shanahan went 6-10 his first year. Dog, they hired Shanahan knowing he had to build the team up. They knew what time it was. And even so, Shanahan won his last 5-6 games of that season, and you was like, all right, dog, like I see it. You know what I mean? Like I see it. There's no inkling of hope here at all. Zero. Right? You're good. And you know, I firmly believe this, and I'll stop my rant at this because there's a lot that I said that we probably gonna have to dive into. But if Geno is benched and he's released, Pete Carroll got to get fired. I don't care. No ifs, ands, nor buts. Pete Carroll must get fired. You tied your anchor to this man. You brought him here. You told us this man was the answer, right? So if that's the case, and he's this bad under your watch, under your recommendation, I don't want you nowhere near no top 5 pick to select no quarterback at all. Go ahead, get him up out of here, dog.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's this is the problem that I had with hiring Pete Carroll, and I don't want to do this. I don't want the Raiders to fire just because the Raiders ain't winning a game, or this they don't make the playoffs. I don't want us to keep firing head coaches year in year and out. The reason why the Raiders aren't up there with the other teams is because they don't have any type of stability. There's so much inconsistency with the team, starting with up top, starting with the head coach and the GMs that get fired left and right. I'm okay with Spy Tech staying, you know,
Me too.
long term, because I know that a GM's job, you can't really see it. You can't see it all the way through unless you give them like at least 5 years. 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look at McKenzie.
I didn't say nothing about Spy Tech.
Yeah,
I ain't say nothing about Spy Tech.
Let me get to Pete though. Let me get to Pete. The thing about Pete is this. This is the issue that I had with him. Is he's 75 years old. He's 74, but 75 sounds more funny. But he's 70, he's 75, bro. He's 75 years old, and the Raiders long term. What is it going to look like with Pete Carroll? With a 75-year-old head coach. Exactly. There is no long term. So there's only one option. It is to win.
Exactly. And let me defend my point here too, Pharaoh, because I see somebody like Sean say I'm tripping. Let me say this too. This is the second thing. How many quarterbacks have Pete Carroll really selected? And you're like, oh yeah, you know, that's his guy. You know what I mean? In the NFL. Not a lot. There's a lot of reclamation projects, number one. Right. And then number two, to Pharaoh's point, if we do have to select a quarterback this next year, this man is definitely going to outlive his Raiders tenure more than Pete Carroll. Don't you want a coach that's going to be tied to the hip with this man? Who's going to be your franchise quarterback, hopefully for the next 8 to 10 years? Why would you want? Because in 2 years, guess what? Our freshly drafted quarterback is going to be on his second fucking head coach. Maybe even in a year, if Pete don't get his shit together with this quarterback that he drafts.
Yep.
So it's like, dog, you might as well let the new coach select his, especially if it's an offensive guy. Let the new coach select his quarterback. Let them be tied to the hip. If it fails, so be it. But right now, bro, like, I don't want to tie no new quarterback to Pete Carroll. I don't. I really don't. I've never seen him develop no quarterback. No young one. I ain't seen it.
Russell Wilson.
Russ is the only one. That's the only one. But how many years ago is that?
Yeah. I mean,
I need more than just one, bro. I need more than just one.
I'll give him this. He developed. He was part of developing Russell Wilson out there in Seattle. Legion of Boom. We all know what that team was about. That defense, that run game, and also Russell Wilson making off-schedule plays. And he was kind of one of the best at that. And it worked. It allowed them to win games. They had a quarterback that could, that could help them get to the playoffs and win a lot of games and eventually win a Super Bowl. And then years later, after they got away from Russell Wilson, Pete got Geno Smith. And to be honest with you, when he got Geno Smith, he did pretty well with him. He got 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions his first year as a starter with Seattle. So I'm not gonna lie, like he did do that. The problem is,
but we talking about draft though.
Yeah. My problem is, I understand what you're saying. And I agree with you. I agree with you too. But my problem is that You hired a 75-year-old coach. There's only one way this is going to play out where both sides are going to win is if he goes out there and wins some games. Because what was the number one thing that I heard with Pete Carroll when he first got out? He's going to bring the culture. He's going to bring that
floor
culture.
raiser.
He's a floor raiser. He's look, he's been there, done that. You get a proven guy, a respected guy. But I'm not going to lie, the Raiders right now look like one of the worst teams in the NFL right now, hands down. It's not even a debate, and you got to question some of the things. And I'm not questioning the talent. I'm not going to be here talking about like you should make like Dante Thornton should be a great he should be one of the best receivers in the NFL.
No, because he was drafted in what, like the 3rd, 4th round. So like
exactly.
You understand that.
I'm not saying that. What I'm going to talk about and focus on is the decision making by the head coaches on this team. And here's a stat for you. This was a stat at some point in the second half that popped up on my feed. I think it was Josh DeBoe. He said the Raiders have been in the end zone 31 times, probably more now because, probably they went to the end zone and didn't do anything with it as well. But at the time, it was 31 times. And Ashton Jeanty only had 9 carries in those 31 visits. Geno Smith coming to the Raiders was one of the worst quarterbacks in the red zone. Why are we doing the same thing over again and expecting different results? It's almost like they had no clue what Geno Smith was, what he is as a player. Like they had no clue what he was as a player. He struggled in the red zone, bro.
And if we're getting to the coaching side of it, bro, I'm gonna be honest, 100% honest. I honestly do not put, like, I do blame Chip. There are a couple of times, bro, where he calls some shit where I'm like, dog, what are we doing? You know what I mean? What are we doing? But
yeah,
like, I don't think we're in a Luke Getsy situation, though. Like, you know how it was last year where you're like, the scheme is ass. I honestly, truly believe this man does not trust anything Geno Smith can do right now. Nothing. So when you're like that, dog, it's like,
who?
Chip.
No, he does.
As he called.
That's the problem.
Nah, bro. I don't think coaches, he does, dog.
Bruh, I think it's going down each and every week, but he does. You know why? When you make comments like this during the beginning part of the season, when you make comments like this and you say, "Oh, I've never had a quarterback that I would talk to about the game plan and take his input and try to make up the game plan." He's basically what he's trying to say is that Geno is this guy. He's that guy. I believe in him. I'm all in on Geno. And it showed not just with Chip Kelly, but the entire coaching staff. They treated him like a franchise quarterback when I didn't think he was that. And I'm sure you didn't feel that way.
The thing. If the head coach does say, "Oh, this the guy," what is he supposed to say? What is he going to say? Like, no, the fuck he's not? They're like, or then you lose your job. Now, I do want to know, how many times did he throw the ball today? How many times did he throw? Like what did he throw for?
He threw 30 something. He about 30. Let me give you the exact stats here, but it's around 30 something times. But
because last week it was hard to explain. Last week, bro, he threw 21 times. So you like 21 times, 36. 3 interceptions. Like, what the fuck? Okay, that's 30, a lot.
30. But that stat line, I'm not even gonna look at the stat line because a lot of it, they lost 40-6, bro. There's a lot of garbage stuff in there. It's neither here or there. Everybody watched the game. The game was over by, shout out to someone in the chat, by the second quarter. It was over.
Halftime. Yeah,
it was over. So I'm not gonna look at like the final stat line, other than I'll say this is a key stat line. Geno Smith leads the NFL in interceptions. He has 9 interceptions. In the NFL. Could have had 10. He almost threw the third pick. So he would have had a third game with 3 interceptions. So
no, 100%. And this is why I can't like go fully into it, bro. Because like today, if we're really watching it, the man, and I know we all did, but it's like there were screens thrown. There's like short passes thrown. You're like, okay, bro, like we're moving the football pretty well.
Right.
And the first interception is like, okay, freak play, but it's like, Geno, how do you not see that big ass behemoth of a dude right in front of you? It's like, all right, like, what are we doing?
When it rains, it pours.
What are we doing? Like what are you doing? But then the second one, dog. The second one, is where you continue to look at Geno and you're like, what are you doing? This is double covered. If you just look at Trey Tucker, he's wide ass open. And I swear to you, bro, I watched the film. My boy, I know you be seeing some of it, and I know Marcus Johnson too. Shout out to him because I be seeing his shit all the time. Yeah, bro, there are so many motherfuckers wide open in these passing concepts sometimes that he just turns down just for no reason. I just don't understand what he looks at or he sees, where he just zeroes and locks in on the curl route or read, and he just does not look away. I don't get it, bro. He does it religiously. So it's like some of it is on chip where I do understand to a point where it's like, especially like there was some shit last week against the Bears I didn't like. There's some shit this week where I'm like, all right, dog, like, you know what I mean? We got to be a little more consistent in these areas. But then at a certain point, when it's like, I can't trust this motherfucker to throw no 5-yard route at all.
I understand.
What are we gonna do?
I understand. And I'm not using this game as the end all be all on the judgment of Geno Smith. I'm using the totality of the season. And in this game, there were examples of Geno playing bad, but this is a total team loss. Special teams, for sure. Terrible. Special teams coordinator, she should be fired. This is terrible. Like, I don't care.
Oh, yeah, dog. Oh, yeah. It's just the Commanders game.
He needs to go, man. He needs to go, man.
Bro, like, what's going on with that, bro? Like, and I get they was talking about Mayer. Remember they was talking about Mayer at the beginning, and they was like, that's why, you know, it looks shaky over here at this section. But it's like, are we not, like, practicing blocking on the right side? Like, what the fuck is going on? We're just leaving him free.
Yeah. But you know what? I'll say this, though. I didn't feel like the offensive line was it wasn't bad, bro. It wasn't. I didn't feel like Commanders after that Commanders loss. I was like, man, I didn't. Terrible. I felt like they did okay with the circumstances they
Shout
dealt
out
with.
to Stone Forsythe, man. Shout out to Stone Forsythe because he actually was not bad. He wasn't bad, bro.
Yeah.
On both Geno's interceptions, bro, I don't even think he was pressured, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I think he just threw the shit. And so that's what makes it frustrating. You got guys coming in, the reserves, and they playing well. You feel what I'm saying? Ian Thomas came in, he blocked his ass off today. He didn't catch a lot of passes, but the blocking he did in the run game was excellent. So it's like we're moving the football here, we're doing certain things here, but again, I always go back to you, bro. Always go back to you. To your credit, the weaponry at receiver. I don't. If everybody don't understand now, I hope you understand now. At the end of this game, why a lot of us were saying certain guys aren't number one receivers, and why we need to go get more receivers. You see it now in full view. Right now, yes, you do miss Brock Bowers, and that is another target. But again, as a fan, just as a team in general, we have no talent. Don't be afraid to get greedy and say, like, we got to stockpile talent, because that's exactly what the fuck we have to do, because we have none. So at the end of the day, bro, we need another receiver. We need more weaponry. Dante Thornton ain't it. He's just not it. As much as we wanted to wheel him into Randy Moss, he's not that. So, okay. You know, I thought Besh was open a couple times today. I thought he was. I thought if he gets the football more, I think if Trey Tucker get the football more, we got something there. But I think we need a bona fide guy. And if Jacoby wants that $23 million, you're going to have to let him walk. You got to let him walk. And if you got to go in the draft and say, hey, man, because there's a couple in the draft that are good. I'm already there, y'all. Draft, I'm already scoping.
Yeah,
but
and I'm not saying that Jacoby shouldn't get paid. I think he deserves to get paid. I think he's a solid he's solid player. But I just don't like. You know how? Okay, a perfect example is this. Perfect example. It might not hit. It might hit, but it makes sense to me. When people were like, why everybody crying about Jacorian Bennett? It's not like he was healthy. It's not like he can't be replaced and yada yada yada. We got Thomas Booker, who can possibly be something to be a solid player, whatever the case may be. He fits one of our needs and all that. Well, my point with Jacoby is he can be replaced. These are the games where you can make me, in my opinion, you could sway decision making. You can sway decision making where you could come up big in these types of games. Now, to be fair,
no Brock. Oh, he had 100 yards. Oh, we might have to pay him. But you know how it go, bro.
Yeah, and to be fair, we focusing on certain people. This is a total team loss. Total team loss.
Oh, 100%.
Total team
100%.
But there were certain players that did play well, and there's certain players that didn't play well. I didn't see Jacoby like really stand out to me. I like what I seen from Genty, but at the end of the day, the game just got out of hand, and him being an impact in his game.
You take his ass out, bro. Yeah, I'm happy they did what they did. At least Pete did that, because no need to put more wear and tear on him in this 40-point loss. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, keep him out. I'm with you, bro. Like I thought Jacoby could have played better. I thought he could have blocked better too. I don't think he's been blocking well as of lately, to be honest with you. I really don't. It seems half-assed to me, the way that Jacoby's been blocking. I like kind of what I saw from Best. There are gonna be people like Severe and all that hate that I say that, but I don't give a damn, bro. I think he can play. I really do. I think he's got to play more than Thornton, to be honest with you. But there's nothing to really point out. I mean, the offensive line really wasn't bad, bro. So it's like, what can we say?
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. I like how the offense moved the ball that first drive. I like the short getting the short passing game involved. I like that they incorporated the run game, and how this offense should have been. This should be the identity of this team. The identity of the team should go through Genty.
Oh, right.
And then
we not sold on that before Pharaoh?
It's maybe because he was a rookie, he was a young player. Maybe this goes back to my original point about Geno. They felt too highly about him. They overvalued a Geno Smith, thinking that, oh, he's this type of quarterback, so we'll be okay by passing it 40 times a game, you know. But this game, it felt like, okay, they went back to reality. You know why? Because they lost their left tackle for the season. Geno Smith is struggling. So you seen that first drive. Okay, this looks good. It was a 15-play drive. But what happened? They got cute. Play action. Geno Smith, what does he do? What is he good at doing? Holding the football. He takes a sack in the red zone. You don't take sacks, turnovers and sacks. You don't do that. That's a no-no. And he took a sack.
That, bro.
Exactly. He took a sack. He took the run game out of, and it goes back to that original stat that I said earlier about the Raiders having at least 31 red zone visits and only 9 carries with Ashton Genty. That's a bad stat, bro. That says a lot. And you know what that points to? Not Geno Smith. It points to the coaching staff, man. That's Chip Kelly. Yeah.
Now that I blame on Chip, right? Now, and this is where, again, bro, like you said, the first drive was good, right? But this is where I have my imbalance with Chip, because that stat, it's all on him. But then that first drive, you like, all right, bro, we're dialing it up. You know what I mean? We're nice. You give Geno good, quick throws that he don't have to do too much on. We running the ball. I like the scheme running the ball. We moving, right? And then, again, we take the sack. Right, quarterback error. So then we go into that. But then, like, to your point, why are we throwing the ball? I would like to know, though, how many of those stats equate, like, you know, of the 31 that we've thrown, how many times did we get a flag on the play that we had to throw? Because then that's some of that, you know what I mean, that I look at. But then to your point, and then follow it all the way back to my point, and I think I'm going to even end the show with this. If Geno gets benched and he's released, Pete got to go. Another addition. Who was the one that was convincing us that this man was a top 10 quarterback? Wasn't us. I know the fans didn't, right?
Yeah.
Who came in here woofing that Geno was all that? It wasn't nobody within the building. Pete did. Pete came in here and said, hey, this is the guy. This is a top 10 quarterback if you give him time and you do this and you do that. Another addition in to say, these motherfuckers right here is tied to the hip. Why you think he ain't benched him in a 40-point loss? We sinking with the ship. That's what we doing. We going down together, buddy. We both going down. So at the end of the day, bro, another addition. And I'm going to continue to say this throughout our show. I'm going to keep adding additions to the files on why I think these motherfuckers right here, if it don't work, both of y'all got to get booted out of here.
Right. Salute to everybody pulling up. Make sure to click and hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And I want to add another point to decision making, because I'm not looking at it from a point of like the Raiders got blown out. Okay, yeah, they got blown out. But also I'm looking at like certain points in the game. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yep.
Geno Smith's first interception. Geno Smith's first interception. It was empty backfield. Okay, empty backfield. Okay, where's Ashton Jeanty? He's not on the field in the red zone. He's not on the field in the red zone.
What down was it?
It was
Let me go through it. Let me see.
let me go to the play. You know what? We can go to the play-by-play.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. First quarter.
Let me go. Yeah, let's go first quarter. But it was a red zone interception in the end zone, and Jeanty
It was a trash ass interception, bro.
And yeah, but my thing is this. I understand. Geno, he's playing bad. It's obvious. But where does coaching come into the game? Why do you take your number 6 overall pick out of the red zone where a guy, one of his best strengths is what? His physicality, his contact balance, his ability to break tackles. How many touchdowns did Jeanty have in the red zone last week? He had 3. And then two of them were in the red zone. So why take him out the play? It doesn't matter if it was a pass play. You could easily, obviously, 2 of his receiving touchdowns last week were in the red zone. So it can have easily been a pass to Jeanty or run the football. Have him in there. That's what I'm saying. They overvalue who Geno Smith is. We might look at him a certain way, but they don't. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's what's gonna bite him.
It's excuse me. It's 2nd and 10 that we threw it on. That he threw the interception on 2nd and 10. And if I'm looking at it, even that throw is fucking risky. But it's like, you know what our problem is, bro? And I can pretty much, I know this is probably some shit that Chip would probably say and some other people would probably say too, but this is really what our problem is. We are one of the worst offenses in the league on first down. Like, we don't do shit on first down. And that's why our drives always seem so hard, because we're always in fucking 2nd and 10. Right, and then we don't do shit really on 2nd and 10, and we only get like 3 yards because now we decide to run the ball or some shit like that, or now we decide to throw something funky out there, and now guess what? 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6, consistently, because we never get yards on first down, bro. That's been our problem for a while, and that's kind of why our offenses always look the way it looks, bro. Our goddamn offenses never do anything on first down, nothing. We're always behind the sticks. Yeah. And it is on coaching.
Yeah, you know, some of it is coaching, some of it is the offensive line not holding up. You know, like there were moments where, you know, plays got blown up and, you know, Jeanty got blown up in the backfield. But I felt like today wasn't a whole lot of that. I felt like Jeanty was able to get going. He had like 14 carries. He finished with 14. He had 14 carries for 60 some yards. He was good receiving out the backfield. I love that wheel route that he had to get one-on-one with the on the sideline with that defender. It was a 29-yard pass. That might have been part of the first drive. That could have been the first drive where they were able to go down. But when you have a 15-play drive, when you have those long drives, you're trying to play that ball control offense, you got to finish with a touchdown. And Geno Smith and Chip Kelly, they got cute in the red zone. They got sacked, and they end up kicking a field goal. Guess what happened? The Colts got the ball back. After going 3 and out the first series, they got the ball back, scored a touchdown. And then it just compounded after that. The Raiders kept going 3 and out. Like you were saying, on first down, they're not getting it right. They're getting in 2nd and long, 1st and long. Then you're taking out the run game. You're taking out. You want to be ahead of this. You want to be ahead of the sticks, bro. Like if you're gonna be a run heavy offense, you want Jeanty
got to be ahead
involved.
of the sticks, bro. And that's kind of why he can't be involved. Again, because we're always behind the sticks. So he can't really get the ball like we need him to or we want him to, because we're always in fucking 2nd and 8, 3rd and 7. You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, we can't run the ball now. You know what I mean? Like we're already fucked off. So it's so frustrating, bro. I think we all kind of know what the answer is, and we're like avoiding it. It's like when you're in a bad relationship and you know it's bad, you know, but you just, I'm scared to end it, dog. Are you scared to just take the leap out? We know what the answer is. It's the full R word, bro. You even tweeted it. Rebuild. And we scared because some of us understand what that means for our favorite player on the squad as well. But this shit's going to hurt before it gets better. It already hurts. It already hurts, bro. It's going to hurt before it gets better, man. We got to probably make a hard decision coming up soon here. And I hope, we get it. I hope we get it right if we do. But it's rough, man, because you ask yourself, where do you go from here, right? Where do you go from here?
Yeah, so it's like we're 5 games into the season. There's 12 games left. Obviously, someone walking by might be like, "Oh, it's early, man. Like y'all think the season is over?" But you know what? First quarter of the season, if you watch football long enough, the first quarter season tells you a lot about the team. Tells you a lot about this team. And what do we know about this team? This team does not have an identity. It does not have an identity. We don't. Is this a running team? Is this a passing team? Like what? Where's idea. Like we don't have zero identity. Like none. And when that happens, we've seen plenty of seasons that go this route where we don't know what it looks like in the beginning of the season. It doesn't end well. And shout out to Raider Alex, man. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to head over to Raider Alex and subscribe to my guy.
Dog, man. Appreciate you.
And follow Hilarious on IG too. Give him a follow on IG, man. His memes is crazy. Yeah. But he says, at least last season I could understand. We had a little talent, but this year we got players on offense and it's just as bad. Shaking my head. Woo.
So I asked that question. I seen somebody, bro, comment earlier said AP was a clown or unqualified or something like that, dog. Something like he was unprepared. What is Pete Carroll? Again, at least with AP, you can sit here and say, hey, man, that's a first-year head coach. The talent is very minimal. We're hurt. People was hurt last year. So it's like, all right, bro, here we go. You know what I mean? Talent is very minimal. And he's a first-year head coach who can learn. You have Pete Carroll in here, bro, and what's the difference? I really want to know what the difference is from people. Now, all of a sudden, we supposed to give Pete Carroll grace? Like I see some people arguing that, oh, man, it's his first year. He does that. To Pharaoh's credit, bro, he has a 3-fucking-year contract. This man ain't here for no 8 years. You think he signed a John Gruden contract? No. He's here for 3 years. The 3 years dictates that this man should win. He must win. And he ain't did that. So again, you tell me what the difference is from a first-year head coach learning on the job with injuries and no quarterback versus a very experienced coach who has injuries but hand-selected his quarterback and told us he was the guy. But all of y'all had so much harsh criticism last year for that. I just want to know where it's at, bro.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, this is where it's going to be interesting moving forward. Because someone asked in the beginning, shout out to Machiavelli. He says folks was getting real disrespectful when I said it was going to be the same shit as AP, man. Shout out to him. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to head over to Machiavelli24. Subscribe to my guy, Black Team Broadcast Weekly, man. Definitely check him out. And then Blunts and Breakdowns with my guy Rundown as well. So definitely check that out. Yeah,
appreciate you.
But yeah, man, with AP, he look, I agree, man. Like that's why like it like when people were trying to argue with me about AP, I could understand the issues they had with AP, but it's like I'm looking at the logic. Like the logic, it's like, we got rid of AP, but we got a 75-year-old coach. Like, huh? Like,
yeah, bro. Like
what? So hold up. Like, so you're expecting him to? What is he gonna do? So I'm like, all right, he's gonna bring that culture. I thought AP brought that culture. I thought AP was he didn't lose the locker room at all. That
exactly.
Wasn't AP the culture guy? But we got a guy that's been successful. I understand. I'm not trying to compare Pete Carroll to AP at all.
No.
But what I'm going to point out is the age. Pete Carroll's not here to develop and rebuild. He's here to win.
No, he's not. And Pharaoh, answer me something real quick, and I'm gonna let you continue with your rant. Did we hear any story like how we just heard with Germaine Pratt with AP last year, like we just heard with Pete Carroll? Any story like that where we're questioning what the fuck is going on with a player, where a coach is just like, we decided to go in another direction? Huh?
We did.
I don't.
Jack Jones. Business decisions. But
at the end of the day, bro, he finished the season and he came back. And see, you talk about business. He came back at the end of the day, bro. AP got in his ass. So we talking about Jack Jones like he quit on the
being
team.
a Raider fan is tough, bro. Being a Raider fan is tough, man. I've seen everything.
Germaine Pratt is MIA. He's MIA. And literally after the game, Pete Carroll says, we just decided to go in another direction. Like, we're stupid. What? What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
But here we go.
Yeah, I'll say this. After 4 games, the Raiders were 2-2. After 4 games with Pete, they're like 1-3. Now they're 1-4 after 5 games. So definitely a different type of start. With that team, my expectations were high because, Maxx went out, Christian Wilkins went out, defense was injured, no quarterback, no running back. Like Devontae Adams got traded. It was like, come on, we can't even compare it. But with this team, it's like, okay, we got Ashton Genty. Brock is hurt, and you can argue that Brock should have been rested a few weeks ago. And
another mismanagement.
That's on the coaching staff. And I thought it was a situation, me buying in to Pete Carroll. I thought it was a situation where we're like, oh, you know what? It's an injury that you can't injure it further. You know what I mean? You can't make it any worse. It's not going to get any better. But apparently,
PCL strain.
Right. Yeah. So Adam Schefter, I think, was saying that it was a PCL type of injury, a bone bruise or whatever. It didn't get any. Yep. And it didn't get any better. They rested him like 2 days of practice last week, and it didn't get any better by Saturday. And they sat him down. So it's like, wait, hold up. This was the situation, and he could have been sat down. Like, see, there's
that, bro. And when you hear the injury, that's frustrating because if you've ever had that type of injury or just anything like that, it's like the literally only thing you can do is sit down and just rest it, get it better. Because if you don't, it's not going to get better, bro. So that's mightily frustrating to hear that. And you're supposed to be an experienced coach that have been there around the block and know, like, maybe I should keep him out. You know what I mean? Like, but another mismanagement.
Real quick, man. My guy, Coach, man, in the building, man. Hey, appreciate the super chat. He says they had to get Pete because nobody wanted the job. This is a fair. That's fair. That's fair because they tried to get Ben Johnson, even though that was going to be like a long shot based off the Raiders situation. They didn't have a quarterback. Ben Johnson had his pick of the litter, meaning guys that had quarterbacks already. They could have made an aggressive attempt for the guy that is coaching, Jacksonville Jaguars, Liam Cohen.
See him, I like too. I wouldn't have mind.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Mo. Mo was talking about him like last season in the season. He was talking about
he was talking about him heavy.
Yeah, he was talking about him. And then there was another. I think the Raiders made an attempt to interview Todd Monken out there in Baltimore, but
he said no.
He said no. He said no. Yeah, and that's just and that's the reality of the situation. But if the Raiders were thinking more long term, they could have went with a younger option at coach and let him develop.
No. Yeah, and then Robert Schultz says it's because of the owner. It's really not that. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, bro, and we all kind of know what it is. It's because we live in the gray, right? Like, in the gray is we never are bad enough to have that top 5 pick or whatever the case, right? And we're always trying to band-aid with a quarterback. So then we get into the middle of the draft where it's good talent, but it's not upper echelon talent where we can continue to stack it. And that's the problem, right? And this is why this year I'm already on the train, bro. I want to lose games as much as possible at this point. Like, there were people last year when you said something about tanking where, you get all mad. You get all mad, bro. Some people talk about tanking. You like, we don't do that. We don't tank. And yeah, sure, like people, they don't purposely tank. But at the end of the day, bro, for me as a fan, just as a fan of it, I'm trying to lose games now. There's nowhere else to go. We're in the fucking gray, bro. What point is it to have pride in the 11th pick? Makes no damn sense. We all know we need a quarterback. I don't give a fuck if Geno comes back and throws 30 touchdowns. I don't care. We need a long-term answer at quarterback or just hire upper echelon talent that we could stack, that we understand that these are upper echelon guys. No more of that middle of the pack shit. And that's where we live. Middle of the pack.
Yeah. And all right, if we're playing, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Is the Raiders move, actions speak louder than words, right? Actions speak louder than words. And the Raiders action makes me think that they knew it was a rebuild, or at least Spytek knew, because how did he address the offseason?
Developmental picks.
Like he obviously he valued his draft picks. He didn't want to give up his draft picks outside of maybe getting a quarterback.
He spent cheap. Yeah.
He spent cheap, but he didn't a lot of 1 year deals. A lot of 1 year deals. And he like his inability. He doesn't even want to sign, a Jacoby Myers to a long-term contract, because he has a bigger plan, a longer-term approach to how he wants to fix the issues with the team. So
100%.
But the problem is that when you sell that you want to win, but you behind the scenes you're doing a rebuild, and I'm gonna assume, but I do a lot of assuming, and then sometimes I give people too much benefit of the doubt. But when Pete Carroll comes out and says, "Oh, I want to win," we're gonna win, we're gonna try to win, we're gonna win these amount of games, and he's telling players that I've won 10 games every other year, 9 games every other year. I think that's what happens. You make the expectations higher than they should be, and people will hold you to it. And I think that's what Raider Nation is doing right now, is they're holding Pete Carroll to it. And it's like, man, this is not what we expected to see. We would expect to see at least a little bit more competitive football. And right now the Raiders are not doing that. The 1 week is the offensive line. 1 week is the defense. A lot of these weeks it's been Geno Smith. It's going to be a long season, but I will say this though, like,
oh yeah.
I'll say this. I'll say this, and I asked this, and I said this on social media. I was like, you know what? Look at the bright side, Raider Nation. Look at the bright side. The Raiders could very well earn a top 3 pick in the draft. Yep. So if the Raiders get a top 3 pick in the draft, they almost guarantee themselves getting a quarterback. Pretty much,
for sure.
They're guaranteed. If that's what they want to do, they can get a first round QB. The first time that's happened since he who shall not be named. I'm not going to name him because it's going to bring back bad memories.
Because that's why people get scared, dog. That's exactly why people get scared.
Exactly. They're going to earn their way to get a top pick, and eventually get a quarterback, and then they can build this. They can start the rebuild process. Another thing I threw out, and it's the reality of the situation, is that Maxx Crosby, as a great a player that he is, he's a great player. We might have to go ahead and trade him, and trade him to the highest bidder, because you don't want to be in a situation, because Max has been through how many different coaches, how many different regimes.
Yeah,
he's young enough where you can get a great value back from him. But if you wait too long, you don't want it to be a Darren Waller situation or a Derek Carr situation. And the reason why I compare it to Derek Carr is that regime, McDaniels and Ziegler, they put themselves in a corner where they didn't get nothing for Derek Carr. 100%. When they could have got something for a quarterback, a starting quarterback at the time for a Derek Carr. You don't want to be in a situation where you get a second or third rounder for trading away Maxx Crosby, when you know damn well he's better than that. You know damn well you can get way more than a second or third round pick. I'm just saying, right now his value is he's recognized as a top 4 or 5 player at his position. Man, you got players saying that Maxx Crosby is the best player I ever played against. So you can get multiple first round picks. I'm sorry to say it, bro. If you're gonna do a rebuild, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do.
It is true, and let's be real, bro. Because I see Raider junkie in here. Some people will take victory like, oh, didn't y'all want Geno over Sam Darnold? Let's just keep it a bean, bro. Sam Darnold would have been ass here too. It is what it is. He would have been trash here. It's here. We are just not in that position. Again, the NFC can fuck around and have those reclamation projects. Right? Because that's really what all the NFC is. That's all what the NFC is, bro. Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff. You look around. Who else is over there? You saw Carson Wentz win a fucking game today. Sam Darnold. The NFC is full of reclamation projects. You can do that. Bro, we in the NFC. We in the AFC, dog. All AFC teams that are worth a damn have drafted their quarterbacks. There's a couple in the AFC that have a couple that maybe have some older here and there. But in the AFC, bro, if you want to be worth a damn, you got to draft one, and that is what it is. You got to have your guy. That's how you beat these teams out here. So, I mean, shit. As much as we hate Denver, look what the fuck Denver just did today. And I fucking hate Bo Nix. I don't think Bo Nix is good. But regardless of it, bro, young quarterback, tied with a coach, it does shit for your confidence. That's just what it does. It's where we have to be. All our teams in the division have done it. We've all done, and we just still living like it's fucking 2001. We living like we still in the 1990s, and we can just sign whatever dude off the street, and there we go. It's not that no more, bro.
Shout out Rich Gannon. My guy Raider Ray in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. He says, organization with no vision, no direction, and no identity. This team needs to consider a true rebuild, starting with grabbing your QB of the future to pair with a true play caller.
Yep.
Now, look, I'll say this. A lot of the good teams in the NFL, a lot of them, if you look at some of the coaches that are on the team that are good head coaches, that was their first stop. You know what I mean? They were young coaches that were groomed into becoming those guys. Like Kyle Shanahan, obviously they're the big names, the Kyle Shanahans and the Ben Johnsons. I get it 100%. And there's always going to be the Andy Reids that come available, which I threw out a name. And I don't know if they do this. I'm not sure if they do this. But if the Ravens continue to lose, if the Baltimore Ravens continue to lose and John Harbaugh becomes available, I'm not going to lie. I do it, man. I do it.
You know what I kind of want, bro?
I know you want a young guy. But
yeah.
But he's John Harbaugh isn't Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is he's going retirement. Like he's like Pete's not gonna get fired. They got too much respect for him. They're gonna be like, hey Pete,
yeah,
retire, please.
Hey,
man. Like just we respect you too much.
Now I'm with you with there because I really think they fuck around and do that, let him go into the sunset. But I'm with Ja. Joe Brady, I'd fuck with. I would want me some Joe Brady, maybe. Somebody from the Rams. There's somebody from the Rams that I've heard Zamir say too, but I forget his name. His name is escaping me right now. But there's somebody from the Rams I'd fuck with. Or even though he's a defensive dude, shit, his defensive scheme is nice. If Minter was to say like he's dipping, I'd fuck with Minter too. If that's the case. But it just depends. Oh, LaFleur. There you go. LaFleur, yeah. That's another one. But those are some younger ones that I'd be like, yeah.
As a head coach, though,
it is what it is at this point, bro. We done tried whatever. We done tried it all. We might as well try it younger. Like, what else can we do, bro? This bed and breakfast 2.0 at this point.
Right. We'll see, man. It's long way. We're a long way from the season ending, but like we kind of see what the writing on the wall is. We appreciate everybody pulling up. Make sure to click in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. You want to go ahead and play some of this presser?
Yeah. Let's get some of that in, man. Let's get some of that in.
We'll just play a little bit of it and then we'll just react to it. I think he said a couple of things that kind of caught our eye. I'm like, huh? Like,
for sure.
Let me go ahead and play this, man. Shout out to everybody pulling up. Like I said, make sure to click in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We're going live on both our channels. So make sure if you're first time joining us, definitely subscribe and hit the like button.
Well, it's really disappointing for us to go out. Have such a hard time getting in this game. The things happened early enough to got us behind, and just felt like we just needed to hang and keep going and stay close. And the game got away because we couldn't score enough. And so there's big plays that are happening to us that just have to be solved. We have to get the kicking game cleaned up. We can't let this happen. And with the blocks and the significant field changes, they're just huge to deal with. So you couple that with with a couple turnovers. I think one of them was really obviously questioned. It was a huge play in the game when we're down there going in and the ball gets tipped up in the air and they catch it. And it gets sitting in the neutral zone, I'm pretty sure. You guys would know better if you've seen it. But we have to overcome that kind of stuff, and we just don't seem to be able to find the way to do that yet. We believe we're going to be much better than this. Well, the coaches do and the players do, and we feel like we can prove it by the way we're working and the way we're preparing and all. But you got to take it to the game, and we've not got that done enough in the last couple of weeks here. That's just the Commanders game, this game were similar in that we just couldn't get out of our own way enough. So we got a lot of work to do. I mean, we have to keep believing, and we have to keep proving it. And the young guys that got a chance to play today will be better for it in the long run of it. But we need to get our guys back out there too, and the guys to go to. And so we'll see how we can do next week. We'll start all over again.
I think at one point they were 8 or 9 on third down.
Yeah.
And that's just obviously that's going to lead to bad stuff. There was one on a 3rd and 12 when the game's 3-0. I think you guys were leading.
Yeah.
How much of a backbreaker is it?
Yeah, they were 7 for 8 in the first half. They were able to get their conversions. We had calls, and you have game plan things that you're trying to get done, and they out executed us in the throwing and catching part of it, and we weren't able to get off the field, and that's why they sustained their drives, and they only had a few in the second half.
The
but
throwing and catching part of it.
That was the issue. I mean, the stats, the stat line is,
What was that?
I said the throw. He said they did better than us in the throwing and catching part of it. What the fuck are we talking about? What are we saying?
And there was a lot of there was a lot of backbreaker penalties too that were like that kept the drives going for the Colts offense too. Like when it was like 2nd or 3rd and long, and man, you know who had a rough game? Kelly.
Oh, bro, he's trash. He's trash. Again, I remember the tweet vividly, and it's to this day how all of a sudden Blue Kelly shot up all of a sudden to be fucking Deion Sanders in 1 week of training camp. I don't know, but yet here we are, bro. He shot up. He was Deion Sanders in 1 week. Surprisingly, when Stokes comes back, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, and I'm gonna preach it all week. When Stokes comes back, Darian Porter and Stokes need to be the starters. Take Kelly off the field. He's always fucking confused.
For sure. Especially come on, man. You got to know the situation, man. Like it's 3rd down. Like he was getting a little too grabby, and they called like a pass interference. That was like a backbreaker. I was like, come on. I think that was like
Since
somewhere in the
one, bro. He's been trash.
Yeah, man. But here we go.
It's an even looking game. If you would never think the score would be like that by looking at the stat line, and on almost any aspect of it, from run to pass to penalties, you name it. So, inside of that, though, the game is we have to get off the field. We've got to make our plays when we get our chances, and we got to stay away from the extremely big plays that happen. The kick, the punt block, and losing the ball on the interception down there. So.
Oh man, I forgot about the punt being blocked too. Whew, that was terrible.
Those things are
so
significant that they're factoring into the game.
Pissed me off what he said, dog.
Multiple people didn't perform well, but was there?
You said that pissed you off?
But this motherfucker just sat there and said, if you would look at the stat line, man, you would think it's a lot closer than what it was, bro.
Bro, it's called
garbage
time.
You could have turned that shit off right there.
Yeah, he's trying to deflect and trying to, just understanding who Pete was with as a coach, he's hella positive and this, that, and the third. But it just sounds kind of like he's not trying to take a little bit of accountability of them not being prepared to play.
Started like this before. This is uncharted territory for him.
Yeah, getting blown out like he's getting. Man, why with the Raiders though, man? Why gotta happen to the Raiders? You come to the Raiders and stink it up? God.
I told you last week. Hey, Pharaoh, I told you last week, bro. -10, like Madden. The attributes and morale go down, bro. -10. Whenever you put the Raiders shit on, you're negative. You were 80, you were 70 now. Your morale was a 80. You were fucking 70 or 60 with your morale now.
Man, ain't no one playing with Madden with the Raiders right now because their rating is going down.
Oh, fuck no. Unless you do a franchise and you didn't replace pretty much everybody but Max and Bowers, you ain't playing with fucking the Raiders at all. At all.
Going with Kenny at all?
Yeah, I was thinking that if there was a reason to do that, but.
So he's asking. The question was there any point where you were going to go with Kenny Pickett?
Okay, let's see.
Here's the reason why I didn't do that. We need to stay out there and keep practicing. We need to keep practicing. We need the reps. We need the turns. We need to run the system. We need to feel it. We need to see the guys get their opportunities to improve. It's not like a big change. I thought about it, because there was a chance to do that. It's the same thing with Maxx. I was going to get Maxx out of there, and I'm fighting with him. He wants to play, but that's normal. But that's not what's necessary.
You see how his messaging is not consistent. It's not consistent.
He a slick motherfucker, ain't he? He's slick. I'm right with you, Pharaoh, because he got some fans. He ain't get us, but he got y'all. Right? Some of y'all out there where he was talking about, hey man, I'm going for the playoffs. I ain't never won more than 10 games. Now all of a sudden he talking about we need reps, we need practice, we need to develop. It ain't like right. Pharaoh said. It ain't the same. He got y'all. You know why? Because Mark probably told him, not even Mark. I'm going to leave Mark out of it because it's not even about Mark. What Pete said is, I'm going to probably get as many fans as I can get to show Mark how much money I can gain. It was basically week 2 was a fundraiser, Raider fundraiser, to get as many tickets and money sold as they can before they realized that they were selling wolf tickets for the season and that they was actually ass. So that's what week 2 was, bro. We got it. Oh, yeah. Oh, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Oh, my dog. That's Cuzzo. Appreciate it, really. That's the family, man. He know I'm going through a tough time. It's bad, bro. It's bad. They sold wolf tickets to y'all, bro. It was a Raider fundraiser week 2. Let's gain as much money from the Las Vegas, Nevada area that we can for this Raider Charger game before they realize that we selling a weak ass product. So here we are.
Yeah, man. It's like I want to get to the point where he talks about Germaine Pratt. That's what I'm trying to get to. Let me see if I can find that, but let's see if he says it after this. Hold on.
You need to get better and get right. So these are the games that we're working on, and these are the games we have to learn from and grow from so that we can change the course of the way things are going. And there's nobody in there that doesn't feel like that. And so, we're going to go right back at it again.
Hey, I just want to add real quick. You see how and obviously you went in and you broke it down, but you see how he applied it he applied it to why Geno Smith should play out there, but he didn't apply it to Genty. They took Genty out. Why he can't practice? Mm-hmm. He a rookie. He a rookie.
Exactly.
Why he can't practice?
Exactly.
He a rookie. Why does a veteran? Why does almost 10-year veteran need to practice more? Anyways.
Thank you.
Is Geno, do you feel like he's pressing at all at this point? And how do you?
I don't know if that's your word. I think it's hard. Yeah, I think it's been hard. It hasn't been easy. It's been tough to get the big plays in the last couple of weeks, and they give you the easy scores. Even go back to the Commanders game. We exploded a bunch of times in that game, and so it just makes things. All of those other plays you don't have to call in between there. But. It's hard, and he cares so much, and it's so important to him to try to come through for everybody else, and he wants to play well and all that. You just have to, in my mind, you have to wash out the ball that gets tipped. That play shouldn't have happened and should never have been there. And so we throw the ball into a little coverage there, and the other time the guy gets the pick. But
What about the other one?
You can't make excuses for him. You just got to live with it and grow and see if we can.
You ain't say shit about that other one, did you, Pete? You only talked about that first one.
He didn't talk about the other one. He didn't talk about the possible third one. You know what I mean? He's not going to
talk about that
because he's going to be real selective, because he's going to be protective of Geno Smith, because he knows that he's locked in with Geno. Geno was his guy. It wasn't Spytek's guy. It wasn't Chip Kelly's guy. It was Pete Carroll's guy. So he's going to make sure that he's going to try everything possible to make it work. Which I'm not going to knock him for that. That's how I felt about that's what I felt about Genty. I'm like, if you go draft a guy number 6 overall, don't you want to do everything you can to get him going? And that's kind of the issues I had with the first few weeks. But that's neither. Hey man, let's keep it going, man. I want to hear what he had to say about Germaine Pratt, and then we gonna get up, we gonna react to it.
Yeah, let's hear.
Brock, I know you had expectation that he could have played it.
Yeah, I thought he would.
What changed within the Friday?
He just didn't. We were going to rest him all the way through the week. And he thought, we all thought that was going to make a difference. But as he got down to it on Saturday, he couldn't feel it. He couldn't get right. And so kind of happened with Stokesy too. Stokes, he practiced during the week and got through it, but it just his knee didn't respond well enough to feel like he can go 1,000 miles an hour out here on game day. So, a little wishful thinking, a little, optimism, relentless optimism, might have caught us a little bit there. And if Brock could have played, he would have. If Stokes would have could have played, he would have. And we thought that by resting them, it would make a difference, and we didn't get as much out of that as we'd hoped.
You guys in there were talking leadership, the importance of it right now more than ever. How confident are you that they're the leaders in that locker room to where this can't?
No, I have no problem. I have no hesitation in telling you that. There's enough guys that have been around their own places or been around with us, and guys that we know well. That's not the issue.
Is there any update on Germaine?
Yeah, just decided to go with the other guys.
What did you see on the first drive you guys had?
So that was real quick. He decided to go with the other guys. And Germaine,
What does that mean?
Germaine Pratt didn't travel with the team. He was out. He was listed as out. So it was not a situation where, okay, as simply as we just decided to go to with the other guys and Germaine Pratt was active.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Or he's with the team. He didn't travel with the team. He was listed as out for non-injury reasons. So I posed this question: I said, is Pete losing the locker room? Is Pete losing the locker room? Is Germaine Pratt, former linebacker with the Bengals, a veteran. He's been productive in this league. He's on a 1-year deal, and he's not traveling with team. He's not traveling with the team for non-injury reasons. And then Pete Carroll just says, "Oh, we decided to go with other guys instead." So maybe Germaine is in that locker room being like, "Hey, man, I know what it is," and the coaching staff didn't like what they had to hear from him, or whatever the case may be. But I'm sure while Germaine is talking in that locker room, there's a few guys that's probably nodding their head like, "Yep, you right."
Yep.
So it's gonna be interesting to see what moving forward if Germaine is still going to be with the team or not.
That's kind of where I'm at, bro. And again, I posed the question. I didn't see none of that shit last year. I didn't. And whatever it is, bro, like, it don't look good. Maybe it is the case where he already knows what time it is. The coach is not doing a job, or whatever the case. Or, maybe it's some more wacky Raider shit. Regardless of it, it happening on Pete's watch ain't good. You know what I mean? Regardless of it happening on your watch is not good. So,
a Raider Shield family had a question for you. You said, my question is, how did you feel when we went into Gillette and beat the Patriots at home?
Okay. Like it was like we did kind of what we were supposed to do. The Patriots, I didn't think we were a good team. And honestly, we didn't really play well in that fucking game. It took some nice little adjustments to be right.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, let's see how it went. But I can tell you, going into that Chargers game, I was saying we need to play hell of a lot better.
Right. I'll say this, like, I'm glad we got the W, but I didn't remember what happened in the game. I didn't forget, I should say. I didn't forget what happened in that game. And what I mean by that is that first half, they after that first drive, they went on a drought. Like, they went 3 and out. And shout out to the Raiders defense. They held their end of the bargain by, like, keeping, the Patriots out of the red zone. But, that second half, the Raiders pulled away, but it was still like, okay, they got the victory, just win, baby. You know how that goes. But there were still some areas of improvement, like getting the run game going. What was one of the talking points of the offense? Oh, Genty, he didn't look like a first round pick. He didn't look like a top 10 pick. He played terrible. This, that, and the third. So there was a lot of. Yeah, so I think a lot of Raider Nation was like, yeah, we're happy we got the win, but we're like, we need to play better though. I feel like that's not going to work against a better team.
No,
and guess what?
I already said that.
Guess what? It didn't work against the Chargers. It didn't work against a Commanders with a backup quarterback, and it didn't work with a Chicago Bears team. Almost did. I mean, they almost got it going, but you make enough mistakes, you can almost don't guarantee you'll win. But shout out to everybody pulling up. Make sure to click and hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Bro, and that's how it gets bad, bro. It gets bad. I just, you're looking and it all goes into where do we go from here? You know what I mean? Because if the season continues like this, and really there's nobody coming to save us. There's nobody coming to save the season. Nobody putting on the cape. You know what I mean? Now, if they start winning late, so be it. But it depends how late, right? Like if you win the last 4 of your games, like nobody gives a fuck about that. Now we just won 5 games, and now we're farther away from draft positioning, right? So it all depends. If you're gonna start winning, it needed to happen this week and beyond. But especially next week. I mean, like, don't get your hopes up, man. We're gonna lose to the Titans, bro. We're gonna lose to the Titans. I can smell it now.
Look. Because I got to be consistent with what I'm saying, because going into the season, like I said, my expectations weren't high. It's not like I had high expectations for the team, but sometimes it's not about what happens, it's how it happens. And I'm kind of seeing for what it is. I'm like, hold up, like I thought at the very least, I thought we had a good coaching staff. I thought we was going to raise the floor of some of these players. Defensively, I was like, oh, okay. At some points, I'm like, all right, they're doing a good job or whatever. But, them halftime adjustments, remember Raider Nation was talking about halftime adjustments to the coaching staff? What happened to them halftime adjustments in today's game? Because they got blown out the water, man. 40-6. 40-6 was the final score.
There are zero halftime adjustments. There's nothing to even adjust to at this point.
Exactly.
Like, bro. They look lost. Just lost.
Exactly. So, yeah, man. But Justin or DJ says if Pete goes, then it's a full-on rebuild. Let Maxx go to a winner. Build the Las Vegas Raiders from the ground up. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I think it's going to be a mutual situation. I don't think Maxx wants to leave because I think his heart is with the Raiders. He got a Raider tattoo. He's all in with Raider Nation, the community, and he got so many relationships, and he has a home in Vegas. Like he's the face of franchise. I don't think he wants to leave, but also it's like, he wants to be an all-time great player. Just like Charles Woodson wanted to be an all-time great player.
Exactly.
And they were a great player in their own right in the league at that very present. Like they were great players. But at some point,
be remembered, you got to do playoff wins and all the extra, bro.
Exactly. So. And that's what Maxx is not getting. Maxx is getting overlooked a little bit. No one's like, Maxx is a great player. Like that game that he had against Chicago, that was a great game, but no one's gonna really talk about it. The players know. Some of the players know. They're like, oh man, like, did you watch the film?
Yeah,
on Maxx,
this dude's real.
You know what I mean? Caleb Williams, like, yeah, that's the best player I ever played against. But like, if you want real, like, if you want to be held with real regard, you got to win. And it's not happening with the Raiders, and it's not happening on the timeline that maybe Maxx would want it in, because his career, his prime is like, a certain time frame. So I think it might make sense for him to go to a team so he can win, just like Charles Woodson went with the Green Bay Packers. And, he ended up winning Defensive Player of the Year award, won a Super Bowl, all that good stuff. I wish it could be with the Raiders. But the reality is that like it's gonna take long. It's gonna take like at least 2 to 3 years. Someone asked in the show, like, what do we do now? It's gonna be a 2 to 3 year rebuild. Look at the talent level on the Raiders defense. Look. All right, how long is it gonna take to develop a young QB? When you get a good sign of a rebuild is when you get a young quarterback. That's a great sign. Like it's a great sign. Now they got Geno Smith. When they got Geno Smith, it made you think like, oh, they're trying to go for it. That was what kind of like got everybody like, oh, they're going to actually try to win and rebuild at the same time. But like, look what's happening right now. It's not going the way it's supposed to go. And I think Pete, going back to what I said earlier, that Germaine Pratt situation, I wanted to bring that up is because if Pete Carroll loses the locker room and we notice, oh, it's open and shut case, Johnson. It's an open and shut case, Johnson. It's over. Like, there's no point.
Fire him. Gotta fire him.
There's no point. There's no point for P to come back. Like, you lose a locker room. Like,
already in 5 games? In 5 games, Pharaoh?
And you a 75-year-old coach? Like, what is it? Is this going to get better? Like, are you here 5 years from now? 5 years from now, you about to be 80. You're 80 years old.
Time to go. I'm telling y'all, bro. I don't even want to hear none of Geno's press conference, bro. I don't need to hear it. I don't want to hear shit that you have to say. I'm gonna keep working through it and doing this shit. Don't tell us. I don't want to hear that shit. Don't tell me. Go in the film room. Figure out what the fuck you got to do. All right, coming out here and telling us throughout the week and telling us after a shitty game that you have to. Oh man, I'm gonna get it better though. I'm gonna keep. I don't care. Fuck all that, bro. Fuck. That's foot long cockroach stomper.
It's smokes a fool, bro.
I don't want to hear that shit, dog. Geno over here selling that wolf shit again, bro. They've been lying since both of them motherfuckers lied since they got here, dog. Geno over here talking about I'm trying to run the table. Hey, Geno came from Seattle with a briefcase full of money, talking about he want to run the table, and now his ass is broke on the street in his drawers, begging for pocket change. That's exactly how running the table is gone for this motherfucker. As far as Pete Carroll goes, I didn't even want to fall into all that senior home shit that we got going, man. But here we go. You know, this is the senior home shit that everybody was saying. This is the laughing shit that everybody was saying. Retread after retread after retread, bro. So that's all it is.
Yeah, Justin the DJ says, what happened with Pratt? So we're speculating a little bit. We don't know the exact details, but what we do know is Pete was asked in the presser. He says, when asked about Pratt, he says, we went with other guys. We went with the guys that we want. And he didn't travel with the team. He was listed out over the weekend. So something happened between Friday and the weekend where the coaching staff made a decision. Maybe Pratt didn't agree with it, or maybe the coaching staff, something happened. And we'll find out as time goes on. But it just like, man, when it rains, it pours. That's the type of situation it is. It's like, man, like now the players is like, you got a Germaine Pratt, who's a starting linebacker, one of the guys that, that's suited up every Sunday for the Raiders. He's not traveling with the team for non-injury related reasons. And Pete Carroll's answer is we're going with other guys. And I didn't look at Germaine Pratt as a bad player. Felt like he's probably their best coverage linebacker. You know what I mean? I think Devin White is not a guy that you went out and covers like that. He had a penalty to take, by the way, too. And then
Devin White's been asked too.
Yeah, and then you got Landon Roberts, who's good against the run, but he's also not a guy that you want to see in coverage. Germaine Pratt is the guy that you probably would want to see. So something happened behind the scenes. We'll find out. Like hopefully, we'll find out probably soon enough, like this week or whatever, to see what happened. But Pete Carroll didn't want to go into details. He just said we went with other guys. So that should tell you everything.
He's probably
you need
not
to know.
going to. Probably not going to, and that's the problem. But we're never gonna know about that.
Yeah, man. Dolph says this whole team is a PCL strange, man.
Facts,
real, man.
Facts.
Oh man, it is what it is, man. Hey, we appreciate everybody pulling up. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification.
It's depressing,
bell.
bro. I mean, just go ahead, get your motherfucking minds right. Go smoke you some. Go drink you something. Go eat some good food, bro. Don't let them, until they understand and they know what they doing, don't let them ruin your days, bro. Again, like the Raiders don't do their job, and we can't enjoy that. We can't enjoy that, but that don't mean we can't do our jobs. We can't enjoy ourselves, right? So it's like, fuck it. We chilling, bro. Until we know that we have a winning product on the field, it shouldn't be anything that get us mad. I mean, content creators like my boy Pharaoh, like Zamir, I know myself. We're going to continue to tell you the real and tell you, like, bro, it's okay. We can get excited, but like this ain't no playoff team. Look at the talent. Look what's around. You know what I mean? And I think, again, as a fan base, we have to start being smarter, harsher on what we see, because all I see around the nation, and I know we're getting ready to end it out, and I think it's a perfect way. All I see is around the nation is a commitment to mediocrity. You goddamn lie. If you're an older fan and you're sitting here and you spewing commitment to excellence out of your mouth, you're a lie. And this don't go for all of y'all, because you know what's up, right? Everybody that I see normally, everybody that be on Pharaoh Severe show, or everybody that know what's up, it don't apply. If it don't apply, let it fly. But it comes from certain fans that always throw the pom-poms on and always do this and that, because everything that they see is the Raiders, and it's everything it's so great and it's glory and all. No, bro. No, it's not. Motherfucker, we suck. We have sucked for 20 plus years. Nothing this team has done requires any sort of patience or goodwill from anything. I don't care what they do. So as of right now, bro, until it is shown, I'm not gonna sit there and champion no player until I see it. No coach until I see it. And I'm gonna continue to speak the truth. I'm not gonna put on no goggles and I did that when I was 15, 12. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we going to the Super Bowl. We doing all this. But as a Raider fan, you quickly grow up and realize, we fucking suck. You know? So that's where we are. That's where we are.
Nah, facts, man. I feel you, man. I think everybody in Raider Nation kind of like can feel that sentiment. Is like, hey, look, at the end of the day, like, it's been way too long. Man, shout out to my guy Bosco with the super chat. He says, this is why I miss Al Davis. He would have challenged Pete decisions. I know Mark don't know football, but also don't like people pissing in my face and telling me it's rain. I get you, Bosco, but I felt like Al Davis, I felt like I understand what you're saying, but I felt like Al Davis in his heyday was that dude. Him and Ron Wolf, they were running the show back in the day in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, in the heyday.
Yeah, in their heyday. But near the end, man, you want to talk about some terrible football.
Yeah. Yeah. And bro, to your credit,
if you keep it real, Bosco, there was some bad.
Oh, they were
teams.
And to your credit, Pharaoh, a lot of people like to make fun of him, but shit, look at Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones in his old age knows how to draft. His ass know how to still make moves and put a product on the field that at least you can watch. You know what I mean? Like Al didn't put no product on the field that we wanted to watch.
He tried. He was trying. Look, he was trying to win the Super Bowl every year. He tried to win the Super Bowl every year. What happens when you have that mentality of trying to win it every year? You make decisions that mess up the future. So then you start being like, hey, what happened to our first round pick? Hey, why we don't have no cap space?
Yeah.
And then, fast forward, McKenzie takes over, and his first year, he doesn't have a first round pick. He doesn't have a second round pick. He doesn't have any cap space that first year. So you know what that means? You know what that told Raider Nation that season? That season was going to be terrible. But that was like the truth back then. But that's the reality. But I hear what you're saying, man. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I think right now, you know what? We got to give like Tom Brady and them some time, Spytek some time, because their job is only judged when you give them more time. You can't judge them off of 1 year.
I don't say nothing about Mark. Zero. I mean, what else is he supposed to do? He did, first of all, right? And this is not for you, Bosco, but just, fans in general, bro. He did what every fan wanted us to do. Like, everybody be mad at Mark. It's like, hey, fire AP. All right. Or hire AP. He hires AP. Hey, fuck that. Fire AP. He's trash. He fires AP. Get an experienced coach that we want to hear. He hires Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll sucks. Oh, fucking Mark, it's your fault. He hires Tom Brady to oversee the football shit. Oh, fucking Mark, you suck. It's like, dog, Mark can't stop it. Stop. It's not Mark's fault. None of it. You know what I mean? And again, it's not you, Bosco. It's not directed at you, but there are certain fans that just continuously direct attacks to Mark. Like, it's like, dog, it's not Mark's fault. We just have a black ass cloud above us, bro, and we refuse to run the organization like a proper organization. It is what it is.
I say he was a part of it for some time. I'll say Mark
for some time, yeah.
There was a certain there was a period of time where I was like looking at Mark and being like, hey, okay, on one hand you say you don't know anything about football, and then on the other hand you there after the locker room talking to the head coach. After every win or loss. Shout out to Vic Tafer. Mm-hmm. He came out and said like this actually happened with every coach outside of Gruden. Because Gruden checked him and was like, yeah, you're not doing that. You're not coming into my locker room. We're not doing that. And he had respect for Gruden enough where he's like, he was a little bit more hands-off. And that's what Mark Davis needs. Look, he's winning championships with his WNBA team, the Las Vegas Aces. Why? Because he hired the right people in place. And he hired the right people to run the show. And I think that's how it's going to work with a Mark Davis-owned Raiders. He just needs to hire people to make the right decisions, and I gotta give Tom Brady and Spytek more time. I'm not, I gotta give them. I gotta give them more time, and even the next head coach, it just has to be more a realistic head coach. When I mean realistic head coach, not no 80-year-old coach. Come on, man. Come on, let's be real. But come on, man. Like that tells me that you're not serious. You're just doing it for like you're telling me that it's a 1-year rental. Because right now, that's how I'm feeling right now. Now I feel like, hey, look, the season's going left. Now, like they're gonna evaluate the coaching staff. They're gonna evaluate, I'll say, Pete Carroll. There's a good chance he can come back next year. I'm just saying, when you hire a 75-year-old coach, it's like you start questioning, like, man, how long is he going to coach? Pete Carroll could easily. I bet you, this would not surprise anybody if Pete Carroll woke up tomorrow, had his presser, and said, hey, you know what? After a long conversation with my wife and my family, I'm going to retire from the game of football. It'll be shocking, but you'd be like, oh, yeah, he's old. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. You know what I mean? So it's just those moves, I kind of question it a little bit, but long term, I still got to give Tom Brady and Spytek time to like kind of develop this team and make the right decisions. And then and some of them, hey, to be honest with you, some of them is going to be mistakes. Some of them are going to work. But I will say, though, Spytek doesn't have any long-term connections to any of the players on the roster, though. I'll say that. Now, all them one-year deals, even Geno Smith. Shout out to Bosco again with a super chat. He says, Geno's about as useless as 2 screen doors on a submarine, man. Facts, man.
Hey, but and shout out my guy DJ, and shout out to I think what was his name, Golden. Hold on, let me make sure I get your Golden Arm 17. Because they kind of disagree on the Mark fact, but because they say he keeps hiring the wrong people, he keeps doing these things and all the retool to the one point of hiring people, right? And to the retool about him, coaches, and doing all that. You got to remember the point of we live in the gray, bro. We live in the gray. So the only way for a coach to come in here to really get this job, if you have the 12th, 11th, 10th pick, right? And not a lot of cap space and not a lot of times to get a top pick, is to tell Mark we're trying to win, because that's the position we're in. We have, bro, there are times, and I heard Marcus Johnson say this, and I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I do firmly believe this. There are times, instances, where this fucking team looks like they are a quarterback away. There's glimpses. There'll be times, bro, where you look and you be like, bro, if we just had a fucking quarterback, we'd be straight. You know what I mean? But coaches fall like, and that's what I'm not saying this all the time, but there are just certain shimmers. You know what I mean? When certain shit shine in the light sometimes, you may think it's gold. It may glitter like gold, but it ain't, right? That motherfucker shine. You like, damn. Just a quarterback away sometimes. Just a little. But it's really not, bro. It's really not. And that's how we get fooled, because we're always in that fucking gray area where we can say that. But we're not. You know what I mean? And that's where coaches come in, and that's how they sell Mark on that shit. But we just need to be so floor bottom, to Pharaoh's point. We need to be so ass to where a coach can come in here and tell Mark the truth. Hey, bro, this organization's his ass. All right. We need to start down from the top on up. And that's really where we need to be, bro, because a coach won't be able to sell no rebuild, retool. If we're a fucking top 3 pick, you can't sell that. No, it's all about rebuilding. It's all about getting this shit back up to where it needs to be.
Yeah. And also last thing on the Mark thing, Mark was completely hands off this year. Exactly how I want it. I want him. And a lot of owners are like this. Not every owner is Al Davis, where, they got so much experience in the game of football where they can have hours and hours long conversation with football coaches and the brightest minds in football that Al Davis used to have. Like every time you hear Al Davis in a conversation at one of these top guys in the NFL, they're like, oh man, Al knows everything about football. He's a one of one. Mark is not that guy. He's just like all the other owners. You got to hire the right people. And what this first year represented was Mark wasn't in there deciding who's the head coach, who's the GM. That was done by, I think it was with Tom Brady, led by Tom Brady. And I think they had like some Spytek, but also they hired like a hiring firm to help out. Remember, like a firm to help.
Yep, he did.
So I got to give Mark credit. Like he was hands off, and he's always trying to be better. But anyways, man, hey, my guy Coach with the super chat, I appreciate you supporting the show. He says we definitely need to be harsher on this team. I didn't know that people were going to go easy on this team. we need to be harder than New York and Philly. Now, I think we are, bro.
Yes. No, we're not.
I think we are, bro. Because you know why? You know why I think we are? Because we do the same thing every year. We do the same thing every year. We want to fire everybody. We want to fire everybody. We want to fire the GM. We want to fire the coach. I think the problem is which is it's obvious, is that like we don't have any type of level of consistency. We don't have no level of stability. We don't have like there's no. We don't have no trust. We don't have any trust.
And you're right on that. You are right on that. It comes for me. It comes from the players too. With the players, I feel that we're not harsher on that as nearly as we should be. Now, it's not saying we should do some weird shit like going in their DMs and you suck, you're ass, and that. I never condone that, bro. Don't do no weird shit like that. That's fucking stupid. But what I will say is being harsher. If you're doing shit like this on the podcast or you're speaking your opinion and your mind, it's okay to say, hey, this motherfucker's not playing well, bro. You get him the fuck up out of here. Because that's how we should be saying. I said this today on Twitter, and you damn near get attacked for it. But it's time to have a conversation about Daniel Carlson in a minute. This motherfucker over here, if it's 50 plus, I'm sweating. I don't know about you, Pharaoh. If it's 50 plus, bro, he is not good. He has not been good for 2 years. But yet when you say that, you want to have fans that want to immediately defend him and be like, he's not the problem of the team. He's not the issue of the team. Bro, he's part of the problem. Because when you miss a kick, what does that do? It fucks your momentum up, and you give the team the ball in that very same spot and field position. Now, guess what the defense got to do? So it's like, how many recount to yourself in the 2 years how many 50 plus he done missed and how many times the team gets to start at their own 45 or some shit.
Yeah, he's he's
snowball,
missing indoors,
and
he's missing indoors. He's
100%.
He's missing it indoors. 100%. I think he had one really good year, and I think it was with John Gruden, head coach, like 2020 or 2021.
Deteriorated ever since.
And he's kind of been inconsistent ever since. Like he's been missing field goals, extra points here and there. It's like man. But you know what? Like when the Raiders are not a good team, stuff like that hurts. It's like painful. It's like
it hurts.
Because you need every point. You need every single attempt to be made. So it's like
he's got to be money, bro. Like on this type of team, he needs to be fucking Janikowski. Real talk. He got to be Janikowski. He's not even that. You know what I mean? He's not, and he for damn sure ain't that. Let's not even do that. That's disrespect. You know what I mean? He's not even that. So that's what I'm saying, bro. Like we crown mediocrity because I feel like we fear what's on the other side, right? We're like, oh my God, like what if we replace this guy and we don't get another guy? Newsflash, we still fucking suck. It doesn't even matter, right? It doesn't fucking matter if we replace him and the guy comes over here. We've been asked for 20 years, bro. So what's the difference in replacing certain guys that maybe toe the line of maybe good to mediocrity and just saying, fuck it, I'd rather shoot for the greatness. That's what I want to do at quarterback. You know what I mean? But some people get scared and still reference a fucking quarterback that we drafted how many years ago, Pharaoh?
Yeah.
At this point?
I call it Raider PTSD, man. You know, Raider PTSD be like in a normal situation, it makes sense to, build a team through the draft and, like just be patient. But what Raider PTSD does is you remember all the bad memories and you just apply it to whatever's present or whatever makes sense. Like for example, what you're saying is it makes sense. If Raiders get a top 3 pick, they get a chance to get their quarterback. But a Raider fan that have Raider PTSD, which is obviously all of us, the majority of us that have been watching this team for the last 20, 30 years, man, like they just not been a good team. We're going to be like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do with this pick? Someone put up the emoji or the GIF of that Raider fan when Cleveland Farrell got drafted. Like that's the reaction. That's the memory. Now, the Alex Leatherwoods, the Damon Arnett's, and
the positives, right? And that's why I say for the positives, bro. That's why we need these top 5 picks because it's hard for them to fuck it up. It's too hard, right? It's damn near hand selected. You know what I mean? There's nowhere else you can, unless it's quarterback. Quarterback's the only one where you rolling the dice, and if there's multiple, like you got to actually have some discernment there and actually understand what you're looking at. But if it's like other shit, different.
Not to cut you off, but I'll say this. Spytech, I think Genty's a good player. Genty's a good player.
Shame. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, but guess what? He was 6.
To your point.
He's 6, so it's hard for you to be like, well, you know, where else do I go?
Right.
He's good. You know what I mean? Even with Bowers, even though Bowers was a later pick, Telesco could have fucking met an auto draft, and they probably would have gave us Bowers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, in these draft class, you take the talent, right? That's why even a team like the fucking Jaguars can all of a sudden be good, because look at how many years they didn't have top 10, top 5 picks. You just stockpile until it's time. Because at the end of the day, bro, these motherfuckers is top 5 picks. You gonna get something. You know what I mean? You're going to get some type of talent. Even if they don't reach tremendous heights, you know they're good. You know what I mean? Like, we don't, and when we have these opportunities, we don't capitalize.
It's just people. I gotta, you know, I'm a fan just like you are, man, just everybody else. So I could understand. I understand where it comes from, but at the end of the day, you still have to make that attempt. This is how you have to get it right. They get paid to do what they do. They get paid to make these decisions. This is how you build teams. You build teams through the draft. So what other way are you going to build a team? You're going to sign $100 million deal to some guy that had one good year, 100%. And then he stinks it up for the next 100%. How many years that he's on that contract?
Because not only do we have a top pick in the first round, we got a top pick second, third. And then we can continue to still stockpile that talent. But here we go, right? We even talking about our second and third round picks don't play. But we look at other teams. Even, look, the Browns are 1-4, right? But if I watch their team compared to our team, oh, it's night and day. Yeah. Night and fucking day, dog.
Yeah. Nah. Bosco, real quick. I gotta address super chats real quick. Man, shout out to my guy Bosco, man. He's supporting the show, man. I appreciate you coming through and blessing the channel with a super chat. He says, I feel y'all, Mark, at this point where JPJ starting at center can be the deodorant to this musty offense. We about to waste a season on Genty's prime years. And look.
Oh, 100%.
And look, and this is the argument with Genty. This is like the number one argument that I had with Genty. Obviously, you heard Severe talk about Ashton Genty and all the people who argued why you don't take a running back at number 6. Is the Raiders are not in position to draft a running back that high. Because if you look at how many years he's going to be on that rookie deal, you look at how many years that a running back has in the NFL, it's just only a certain amount. And the Raiders are, how far away are they from being a competitive football team? You can argue
maybe 3 years, right? And by the time the 3 years is up, we got to re-sign this motherfucker to another deal.
And if you look at how NFL running backs get paid, a lot of them don't get re-signed to their original team. Look at Saquon Barkley. He's arguably the best running back in the NFL. Rushed for 2,000 yards, won a Super Bowl, led that team. You know what I mean? Was one of the biggest reasons why they won. That led that team to that Eagles team. I know it's super talented, but he was a big part of the success of that team, where he had over 2,000 yards rushing and he had all types of all-purpose yards. But why didn't the Giants re-sign him? I'm sure they made an attempt, but like it was sorry attempt because he went ahead and went to the Eagles. They could have easily franchised him, but they didn't do that
because he didn't want to go back, bro. He didn't want to go back.
They could have easily, bro. Didn't want to go back. Don't matter if you're a great blue chip player. If it was any other position, guess what they're gonna do? They gonna franchise you. They gonna franchise. It's called business.
Bro, like they only come back if you have something to come back for, right? Like if you got a quarterback or if you got some of these guys, like you take an extra second as another player to be like, all right, bro, you know, I might not want to leave my situation. You know what I mean? I might want to stay with my guy. Chill over here a little bit, but we don't have nobody like that. So there's nobody sit here to be like, oh man, I'm gonna stay and do like, unless they get one soon. But that's why Josh Jacobs left, because Jacobs was like, you're not finna run me into the ground and ruin the rest of my fucking career doing nothing. So I've said it since week 1. Josh Jacobs 2.0. Josh Jacobs 2.0, and we gonna waste the prime, and then we gonna watch him go somewhere else and be good.
Oh, you're saying that he's Josh Jacobs type of player, level of play.
Well, no, where I'm saying that we have a good running back. I think we have a good running back. To be honest with you, I don't care. Like there is no questioning what he is and what his talent is for me. Like, I know what he is. So for me, like, I'm already set and saying we have a good running back. Where I say that is saying we got a running back that's we go ooh and ah. 4 yards, though. It was only 4 yards he got. And then when we look up, you know what I'm saying? He's been here for 4 years, but then he going to go to another team and he's going to look good because he's with another team that actually has their shit together. So that's what I'm scared for.
We'll see. I think, you know, we still got to give it some time. I know right now after a loss, like the Raiders are 1-4. Everybody feels down about the team. Like the coaching staff, the direction, there's no identity. And to be fair, like they haven't done a good enough job to create an identity on this offense and to create a level of like optimism. But there is 12 games that they can at least, I'm not even talking about go to the playoffs. Forget about that. I'm talking about at least like show like, okay, this team is improving. Okay, this young player is going to be part of the Raiders' future. Okay, this guy that's on a 1-year deal, he deserves to be extended. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see some of that, and there's still more time for that. But the question is though, you know, are the Raiders going to reevaluate what's going to happen with the coaching staff at the end of the season and how they evaluate Pete Carroll and like if he wants to continue coaching, like, because this is, I mean, it's a tough situation, man.
If he wants to continue coaching, it's like, bro, like he even has the choice. If we continue to look like this, bro, like he don't have no choice. Like Pete can sit there, he gonna try to dress it up like, oh man, you know, I just might not want to continue coaching no more. No, motherfucker, you're getting fired. That's what you're getting fired. Don't try to dress it up. Even with Geno, bro, like we gonna try to dress it up like Pete's gonna try to dress it up. Oh man, you know. Maybe he just got to sit down and gain his confidence back. No, he got benched for Kenny Pickett. He fucking sucks. Let's just keep it what it is, bro. It is what if you get benched for Kenny Pickett and you're 35 in year 12, 13, what does that say to you?
Yeah. Real quick before I address this super chat, I want to add to what you're saying. I just remembered something from the presser we just heard. We're gonna, you know, obviously check out the presser. It's like a good 15 minutes. I want to go through all of it, but there were some things that we heard, and one of the things that he was asked. He said he thought about it. So look. Why that's key is last week he was asked about, like, did you ever think about putting Kenny Pickett in? Because there was a moment in the game, I don't know if you remember near the end of the game last week against Chicago, you seen the cameras, they went to Pete Carroll on the sideline and he was talking to Kenny Pickett. And Kenny Pickett had his helmet on and everything. So people were like, and this is, you know, Geno Smith was playing terrible. So everybody was like, oh, damn, is Kenny Pickett going to come in the game? And then he was asked after the game, they asked Pete Carroll, like, hey, did you ever thought about putting Kenny Pickett in the game? He's like, no, not at all. Like, it was a simple, concrete answer. This week, man, it wasn't concrete, though. It wasn't concrete. It was like, oh, I thought about it, but we needed to practice. He said we needed to practice a little bit more. That's as in regards to Geno Smith. So what that means is whatever he said was the practice part. That didn't make no sense. But what the one thing that did make sense, what I can read in between the lines, is that they're thinking about making a move at quarterback. It's a possible chance, like within the next couple of games, if Geno, maybe this week, or if Geno continues to stink it up, especially against the Titans next week, then Kenny Pickett is going to be the Kenny Pickett show for however long he has that spot at quarterback. But real quick, let me address this super chat. My guy Demi by nature, man, appreciate the super chat. He says we need to suck for luck level rebuild. Get the right coaches and players in place for once. Yeah, man, that's the truth, man. Like, we don't want, like, I don't want it to be a situation where the Raiders, and that's what made that last season so nasty. Like, the Raiders clearly were not like they weren't that good of a team. But they won enough games where it kept them from really getting into that top 5, top 4, top 3 when they really deserved it. Like, they were that bad of a team where they could have. And this is how I feel about this team so far. And I don't think it's going to get any better, to be honest with you, with, you know, the injuries, what we've seen from the quarterback.
Well, we got to see where where the draft is starting to fall later on. You know.
Yeah. So like, if they lose against the Titans, who right now are also one of the teams that only have one win. No,
they just won.
No, they lost. They came back.
They came back and beat the Cardinals, bro.
They came back and beat the Cardinals. Wow.
They gonna whoop our ass.
It was 21-6 at halftime. That's
exactly.
Wild.
Exactly. And they came back and won. But guess what? They got a young quarterback they can feel good about. But either way, don't matter. They're gonna whoop our ass next week. They're gonna whoop our ass.
Hey, I mean, if that happens,
shout out my boy Leo, man. My boy Leo, it's his birthday next week. He wanted me to go to the game. I ain't broke it down to him. But I can't justifiably spend no money on this team. What the hell am I supposed to tell my damn wife, man? What am I gonna tell her? Like, hey, man, we trying to spend damn near upwards of close to $500, $600 in one weekend to go watch my team lose to a 1-4 team. What that sound like to y'all? Huh? I got a child. I'd rather spend that money on my child at this point.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Look, man, hey, we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in at this point. Clock out. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Great show. Great conversation. We just had to come in here and rant about the team. Obviously, terrible loss by the Raiders. My guy, Rundown, man, let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
Man, if you want some more Rundown content, man, tap in at The Raider Rundown on YouTube. I usually go live on Mondays, so tomorrow I will be going live, man, give you the rundown fully exclusive on my channel, man. And usually, that's backed up with some film as well, but we working on that. But either way, if you want, a quick rundown of the game and you haven't seen it, you can follow me on the social medias, man, at The Raider Rundown 2 for Instagram, at Raider Rundown 4 for the Twitter. So appreciate everybody, man. I'm gonna be going live tomorrow, 11 o'clock at the Raider Rundown. So tap in there, man.
Yeah, definitely check that out, man. Shout out with another super chat.
Oh man, Samo. Okay.
My guy Slamming Sammy Joe says, I don't understand extending Geno before he played. Well, I think that was just he was due for an extension. But I will say this, just to give you guys just take a deep breath real quick. The Raiders can get out the contract. Y'all don't have to worry about 100%. The contract. They can get out the contract. 100%. Now, if they get out after this year, it's going to be $18 million cap hit, which is doable with a quarterback. Now, I think the Raiders should keep Geno, just moving forward, just have like a veteran presence. They can still, I don't think he's a bad locker room dude. But after next season, the Raiders can get out of his contract completely, not owe him a dime. So it's a contract where they can get out of it. I mean, if you want to get out of it after the season, like I said, $18 million cap hit, which
it's nothing.
It's doable
for me, bro.
It's doable.
What is he teaching? You know what I mean? Who the fuck? I don't want no young QB learning shit. I don't want him learning shit from Geno right now, dog. You said something about the locker room, and I almost said a joke right now, but I'm gonna save that joke for if he keeps playing like ass. But if you talk about Geno in locker room, I think some people, if you remember his Jets days, you go back to that. There's some shit back there.
Man, all I know is that this offseason, that he did say that's why I get paid the big bucks. Remember, he had that little he had a little disagreement on the sideline, went viral.
Yeah, bro.
That's why I get paid the big bucks. Bro.
That shit aged like milk. That shit was bad.
But why does that have to happen to the Raiders, bro? Like, why does that have to happen?
I told you, bro. I told you what the explanation is, man. We just got something where the attributes go down when you put the fucking jersey on. It just is what it is, man. I don't know what it is. Al must have did something. Al must have did something back in the day where the football gods ain't pleased for us or whatever the fuck we got to do. So I don't know why it happens like this, bro. It seems like every free agent. I don't know when did it start. I would love to know from some of the fans, like, give me the historic facts. When did it start that the Raiders start signing free agents and the shit just does not work out? They just don't end up playing like how they normally play.
I mean, but the thing is, that's just more of that's just not how you build football teams, to be honest with you.
No, it's a fact.
But that's how the Raiders choose to
like
build
any
a lot of their
free
teams.
agent. Any free agent just don't work out.
But
there's a couple like here and there where you're like, yeah, that's cool. But it's like even the ones where you're like, Like, we're not even trying to rebuild. Like, it's just a good free agent signing, right? Look at Wilkins. Look at fucking Wilkins. It's like, goddamn. You know what I mean? It's like, that don't even work out. Nothing works. I just don't understand.
Well, hey, look. Spytek might know something. Maybe Spytek knows something about that because he didn't spend he didn't spend a penny.
That's true. That's true.
So, hey, you know what?
Maybe we can't be mad.
Hold on. I got to bring that back. He did sign Alex Kappa. It wasn't for a big deal, but still.
Hey, but we can't lie though. We can't lie. As like, if you're looking at Kappa to be a backup, which basically that's what he did in the games that JPJ was gone, right? He wasn't terrible. He wasn't ass. I don't like, if you're telling me that Kappa is a backup in that role in which he did in them games, he didn't play ass. I wasn't looking at him and being like, dog, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. You are right? Maybe Spytek knows that. And he's like, well, I'm just not going to sign no hella free agents to all this money. But I agree with Robert Schultz, man. It's the Marcus Allen curse. Maybe that's what it is. Huh? The Marcus Allen curse.
Hey, man, like I said, man, Raider PTSD. I think free agency is good to supplement your team, but it's not the way that you build your team. If you're constantly looking at free agency to get the best players and build your team, most likely it's not going to work, man. But man, we appreciate everybody pulling up. Some people saying man down says Malik Willis to the Raiders.
No,
I mean, he's not going to help the team now. Not going to help the team now.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Like,
I'm okay.
He's not going to help the team now, and the reason why I say that is because, like, you know, there's a reason why in the NFL over the years we haven't seen a lot of trades like the NBA and baseball, because it's a harder transition. Like, if you're a pass rusher, I could see that be an easier transition to a team because all you got to do is tell him go after that quarterback. You know what I mean? Yep. And he'll know how to do that. It's an easier transition. But for like quarterbacks and like wide receivers and like a lot of the other positions, they got to learn a whole different playbook. If you get a guy, you better be locked in with him like long term. Like, you got to be like, all right, it's not going to work this year possibly, but the next year or so. You see what I'm saying? So Malik Willis, I'm not sure if that's a guy that the Raiders are going to like commit to, unless it's like what? I mean, a 7th round pick, maybe. I don't think. Green Bay's just going to keep him. Green Bay's not a 7th round. Like, we might as well keep him as a backup. Like, he did a pretty good job for when Jordan Love went down. Like, he did a good job. So I think, if anything, the Green Bay Packers will probably want to get more than a 7th rounder or a low pick. So they rather just keep him.
That's what I would think, bro. That don't make no sense even for us, bro. It don't make no sense.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, we'll be back here. I'll be back here actually. Obviously, Rundown, he just told you he'll be back here tomorrow to break down the game, just recap it after. I'm sure you're gonna watch the game over and to see some things that you might have missed.
Exactly where we could.
That morning after breakdown. Definitely check that out on Rundown's channel. As for myself, this Tuesday, the 50-50 show, me and Severe, definitely check that out. Obviously, later this week, Around the Shield, we'll have guests. Definitely tune in. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some people someone to break down the preview for the Titans game. I know Titans. Who cares? The Raiders season. We'll talk about it. We'll have a good conversation. And obviously, the Raiders always keep it interesting. So we're gonna be here to talk more about the Germaine Pratt situation, because I think within the next couple of days or so, we're gonna understand, like, is he still with the team? Like, if you're not traveling with a team, that's kind of a big FU, like, especially when you were a starter, 100%. Like, and it's a non-injury related reason. And then the coach says, oh, we went with other guys that were pretty much, they felt like we're better, Yep. It is what it is, but we'll be here to break it down. Just make sure to tap in with PharoahNFL, PHAROAH NFL, all over social media, including YouTube. Definitely subscribe. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And I'm trying to grow Around the Shield on X and on IG. Around the Shield for latest Raider news, rumors, memes, podcast clips, all that good stuff. Check it out. Definitely give a follow. You won't be disappointed. But any last thoughts before we head out?
Like I always say, man, we keep it authentic here on the Raider Rundown. And with my boy Pharaoh, man, we try to tell you the realest that we can, man. So we don't come out here and try to be disappointed as a fan base, but y'all know what it is, bro. And then we can really do. So just because the Raiders don't do their job, don't mean we can't. Just because we can't enjoy the Raiders, don't mean we can't enjoy ourselves, man. Go out,
Yeah.
smoke you some, drink you some, go chill out with the family, man. And let's pray to the football guys. Maybe one day it changes.
Yeah, man. I want to see Genty ball out. I want to see what is it gonna look like. Like that's what I'm looking forward to. Like, all right, let me see Genty. Like, is he that dude? I want to see more of that. But we're just gonna have to see and wait for that, man, to happen. But we appreciate everybody pulling up, man. We out of here, man. Peace.
All right, man.
Just win, baby.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.